Hey guys, Mr. Decker here. This is Unit 2, Lesson 7, Mini Project Your Personal Style. We're in the CS Discoveries and we're looking at Bubble 1 here. And it says here are some CSS properties that you may have seen in the past couple of lessons. You can use them to review the styles you might want for your web page. So let's jump in. We'll go ahead and start with A over here, add a heading rule set. Add a heading rule. Here is an opportunity to be creative and customize the heading. Do this. It says add a rule set for the heading. We can do that. So we already have a link tag to our style sheet, and we can see that file over here in the file space. We already have some HTML here creating the structure for our website over there. All right, let's see. So we need to add a rule set for the heading. So I'm going to put my cursor at the end of line 3 there, enter down a couple times, and we'll go ahead and make an H1 rule set. Remember, you're using those curly braces. Enter down a couple times, make some room for them rules, y'all. All right. So the first rule I'm going to do, let's do a text decoration. And let's get this underlined. Semicolon. And then let's change the size. Let's see. Text. I think it's text size, right? Let's see. Maybe it's font size. Let's see. Let's go through here. Font weight, font style, font size. There we go. And we'll go ahead and make this a 40px. Let's go even bigger, 50px. 50 pixels tall. And then let's change the color. Elephants are kind of gray. So let's see here. What are our options? Like a dark gray would work. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. Semicolon. Never forget those semicolons. All right. And I think that's it. Add a rule set for the heading, and we're moving on. So this is just a review, so we're just working our way through this. Let's see. Change text color. Use the CSS to change the color of the headings and paragraphs. We can do that. Just changing colors. Add a rule set for the heading to make it a different color. Pizza. Pizza kind of screams yellow and red at me when I think about pizza. So let's do H1. Let's make sure that is an H1 tag. Yes, it is. And then curly braces. And we're just changing the color. So I'm just going to make this some kind of red, maybe like a crimson. There we go. That'll work. And then make heading a different color. Add a rule set for the paragraphs to make them another color. All right, so let's do that. So P for paragraph, curly braces, color, and for these, let's see. What's another pizza color? Dark red. That looks good, and it's still really easy to read. That's important. So rule set for the heading to make it a different color, rule set for the paragraphs to make them another color. Done and done. Finish. And then aligning the text. Let's see. We want the names of the authors to align the right side of the page. All right, figure out which tag. Whoa. What all we got going on here? All right, figure out which tag holds the author's names. Add a rule set for that tag to move it to the right side of the screen. All right. So famous quotes, Helen Keller and Grace Hopper, computing pioneer. So H3 for that one on line 12. And it looks like it's an H3 again on line 9 for Helen Keller. So we'll go over here. Here's the H3 rule set already created. And I think it's text align. Yep, nailed it. And then we're going to align that to the right, I think is what it wanted us to do. And then you can see over here, it hopped right over to the right. Add a rule set, move to the right side. Yep, done and done. And endangered animals, we're on D, change the font family. Use CSS to change the font family of the headings and paragraphs. We can do that. This is all stuff we've done before. Let's see, change the font family of both the heading and the text. So do this. Add a rule set for one of the heading types. We'll go ahead and do that for endangered animals. That's that H1 tag at the top. And we're just changing the font family. We'll just change it to cursive. I hate the way that looks, but so let's change it to something else. Fantasy. Nope, don't like that either. Not for the topic, anyway. Oh, I dropped my Y. There we go. Let's see. Serif. Yeah, that looks good. Nice and sharp. Add a rule set for the paragraphs to make them another font family. P. And let's see, the paragraphs to make them a different font family. This time I think I will use the cursive. So font family. Yep, there we go. All right, done and done. Let's finish. And we're on E. Change the font size. Change the font size of both the heading and the text. You can specify the font size in terms of px, example 16px. Do this. Add a rule set for the heading. We've got pizza up there again. Enter down a couple times. H1 rule set is go for launch. Let's see, make it a different size. So text, was it font size? Yep. And we'll go with, let's see, 50px seems to work out nicely. And then a rule set for the paragraphs. I like, you may have your personal preference. I really like 18-point font for the paragraphs. So we'll do font size again. We'll do 18px semicolon, and there we go. Much easier to read. All right. Let's finish, and then we'll finish here as well, and that should put us on bubble 2. On bubble 2, we're going to learn about RGB, red, green, blue colors. Check out how you can get even more colors by using RGB codes. Let's go to A, the introduction to RGB, and it says learn about RGB and how it can be used to make custom colors. All right, let's see. RGB colors. All colors, whether they have names or not, can be described by the level of red, green, and blue light it takes to make them. This is called an RGB value, short for red, green, blue. You can use the widget on your left to try out different RGB values and see what colors they make. So over here we have the tool, or the widget, like it likes to say here. Oop. And use the sliders to adjust the levels of red, green, and blue light. So, all right, use the sliders to adjust it. So let's try to match these up. So A, red 216, and instantly you can see the color difference. Let's try to get to 216. There we go. And then green 191. Come on. Oh, whoop. Come on. Man, it's really sensitive. Okay, there we go. Green 191 and blue 216. And oop, I had it there for just a half a second. Come on. There we go. And so this first one, so A matches 4. All right. And then let's do B, 255 red. And green 239. So we're increasing the green value. And then blue 213. There we go. And it looks like B matches 1. Let's do C. Red 250 and green 128. Sliding that way down to 128. And then blue 114. And we got it. All right, and so C matches with 2. Let's go ahead and do D, red 70, so a lot less red in this one. Green 130. And blue 180. So increasing blue a bunch. There we go, and it looks like that matches 3, so D3. Let's go ahead and do E down here, the last one. So red 107 and green 142 and blue 35. So way less blue. Very little blue in this one. And we get green. So this one matches. Still trying. Come on. Come on. It keeps skipping over 35. Come on. At this point, I'm committed. If you want to skip ahead in the video, feel free. There we go. We got it. All right. So let's click on these. Why do red and green make yellow? When you mix paint, red and green make brown, but RGB color mixing uses light instead of paint, so the colors mix a little differently. RGB uses additive color mixing, and additive color mixing, red and green make yellow, red and blue make magenta, and blue and green make cyan. And if you're sleeping in the back, cyan is a kind of a bluish color. And then when you mix the 3 primary colors together, red, green, and blue, they make white. You can read more at Wikipedia additive color. In case you were extra interested, how many colors can I make? You can make over 16 million different colors with RGB color mixing. That's a lot of colors. All right, let's look at using RGB colors. Add RGB colors to a website. All right. Let's see. You can use RGB values to get the exact color you want. Do this. Find the CSS rule set in the style sheet that gives the red words their style. Red. So red 0, red 1, red 2, red 3, red 4. Red. So I'm assuming that's like this. Red 0, red 1, red 2, red 3, red 4. Like that. If you were following my cursor. Boop, 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 boop. Update. So we found that rule set, or multiple rule sets rather. And here's green, but green is just green, 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 and blue is blue, 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 blue. So those don't have these RGB values set in. So update the styles for the green and blue words to try different colors using RGB codes. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just copy that, Control C, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it everywhere I see green. So you'll notice that it's going to make all of those like red zeros. So we're going to change these values to 0 on red. So remember that order: red, green, blue, RGB. Whoop. And then for green, we'll just gradually increase value on green. So let's see what that ends up looking like. So 0 obviously just makes it turn black. Let's see what numbers we can put in. So green is the second number. We'll gradually increase that value. So let's try 100, get started, and then we'll move on from there. Let's see what like 140 does. 180, 220, and 250. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing for blue. So I'm going to paste that again, Control V, and these are the reds again. And you can mess with this more if you want to, but I am just focused on showing you how it works. So for this one, we'll start with 40. Ooh, let's increase that actually. What did I start with up here? 100? Well, let's do 100 for that first one. Yes, much better. Let's do 140, 180, 220, 250. There we go. And so you're not getting anything but blue in there. Up here on red, you see they've added a little bit of green, a little bit of blue, a little bit more green, a little bit more blue. So we could do something like that as well and see what that looks like. So let's see. If I leave it as 0, 0 here and here for that first one, that makes sense. We'll do 32, 32. And then we'll do 64, 64. And then what is it doing after that? 96, 96. And 96. And then down here, the last number, 127, 127. So now you're getting the same kind of effect that you were getting on red. So let's repeat that process for blue. So the first one's 0, 0. The next one's 32, 32. And then 64, 64. And all I'm doing is just highlighting the number and then replacing it with what I'm typing in. So now 96, 96. And then 127, 127. There we go. Beautiful. I love it. So if you want it to be blue or green or red, then that value on your RGB needs to be the biggest one. And the other ones can kind of change the way the rest of it looks. All right, very cool. I like it. All right, let's finish. And it looks like that's going to finish this bubble 2, and it's going to put us on bubble 3 when we click finish. There. Add HTML. Next, you should add HTML to your page. Do this. Add HTML to make the page you sketched in your project guide. If you haven't sketched a page, I haven't sketched a page. So we're just going to kind of wing it here. We're already linked to the style sheet. So over here, we don't have any rule sets yet. We're working with a blank canvas. Remember that you always want to start your code between those body tags. And naturally, we want to start with a heading. So for this one, I'm going to just make something pretty basic. On this one, it's just saying we need to add the HTML. I'm assuming on bubble 4, we'll add style. Yep, that's what it says. So on bubble 4, we'll be adding the CSS code and making our rule sets. And then bubble 5 is probably checking over it and reviewing it. All right, so let's make something pretty simple just to have something here. Let's see. Let's do something that makes sense so we can utilize the code that we know so far. Let's see. On the last mini project, I think that I did my favorite books and my favorite video games. So let's work on like favorite kid movies. Go. Favorite kid movies. Enter down a couple times for my next line. I'm going to do a paragraph. And I'm just say, here's a short list of some of my favorite movies from when I was a kid, all the way back in the 90s. There we go. So end paragraph. And then let's make our list, shall we? Let's see. We'll do an unordered list. Enter down a few times, and I'm going to put the end unordered list tag. And then up here, we'll start making our list. So in here, for the first one, what's a good movie that I remember from when I was a kid? The Goonies. Definitely. All right. End list. And then the next one, let's see. LI. We'll do Lion King. Nice one. Next one, let's see. What's another one that I really liked? Homeward Bound. Boy, howdy, I loved that movie. Let's see. Let's do two more. So we've got a list of 5. Let's see. We've got to go Star Wars with it. And I'm just going to designate here with Roman numerals. I'm going to say specifically, well, Star Wars semicolon episode 5. There we go. That's the best one. No argument to be made for any other Star Wars film. Episode 5 is the best one. It's from the original trilogy. It's just the best. All right, let's see. Last one. Let's think of this. Fox and the Hound. Ooh, Fox and the Hound. There we go. Yeah, we might end up adding to this. Let me pause for just a quick second. I told you it'd just be a quick second, so I'm going to add another paragraph. And I want this one. Oh, I forgot to add a period up here. If you caught that, good job. Let's see. What do I want this one to say? We'll say, trying to be quick about it. We'll just say, I hope you enjoy these movies. If you haven't already seen them, or if you have seen them, that you agree these are great. Right, and then end that paragraph. And there it is. Okay. So pretty basic stuff, but we've had the HTML. Let's finish. And then on this one, next you should add styles to your page. Do this, add CSS properties to make the styles you described in your project guide. So down here, let's go ahead and do, whoops, my bad. Definitely not what I'm wanting to type. Let's do body. And when you do a body rule set, you're, whoops, come on. There we go. You can do things like set the background color. Let's go ahead and make the background color aquamarine. Really bright and vivid. I'm going to put my cursor at the end of line 4, enter down a couple times, and make my next rule set for my H1 tag for my favorite kids movies. And curly braces. If you don't remember where those curly braces are, they're next to the P on your keyboard. Kind of also near the enter key that's on right above, kind of catty corner to the enter key. All right, let's see. H1, what do I want this to be? Let's do color. And let's go ahead and make it stand out with some blue violet. And then let's do a text decoration. And we'll get it underlined. Oops. And let's change the font size to 50px. Oops, I keep doing that. And we'll change the font family as well. Let's do fantasy. No. Let's do cursive. I've got a love-hate-love relationship with the cursive font. Okay. Looks a little bit like Comic Sans, and Comic Sans gets a bad rap. All right, let's see. The next thing that shows up is my paragraph. So let's make a paragraph rule set, and this will change both of those paragraphs. Let's see. If you hear banging in the background, it's because I'm in my office and my cat really wants to get into the office. I'm going to go ahead and just let her in. You might hear her meowing. Hi. Hi. Okay. Let's see. For the paragraph rule set, the first thing I want to do is font size. Make this easy to read, 18px. And then let's make this kind of jump out on the page. Let's also use color blue violet for this. And so I'm just going to Control C and Control V that down here. Oh, whoops. I want my list to be blue violet. I want my text to be, or just the paragraph color to be something else. And I'm going to remind you, if you haven't checked it out, you can go to HTML color names, just open up a new Google tab or a Chrome tab, or however you want to phrase that, or whatever browser you may be using. You might be using Microsoft Edge, or you might be using Mozilla Firefox, or you might be using one of the many options that are available to you outside of Chrome. And so regardless of what you're using, you'll find it. You could just type in HTML color names into Google, and it's the W3 Schools link that you want, and you'll be able to find lots and lots of color options there that you wouldn't even find on this list that it gives you when you do this move right here. You do way more options than just what you see on this list. But in the meantime, let's do dark violet for that. So it's just a slightly different color than the blue violet. And I think that's all I want to do for the paragraph, except I want to change. I'm going to make everything uniform and on the font too. There we go. And then finally for the list, I'm going to try to remember if I need to put the UL for this rule set, or if I need to put the list tag there, but we'll find out very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and still all of this, Control C and Control V. Okay, yep, UL is what you want to put there, and then I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Let's do 24, and let's change the color as well to something that makes it stand out a little better against everything else that's there. Color, and let's do, let's see, make a decision. There we go, orange. That looks all right. I don't hate it. All right, there's me using Oh, check it out. Let's do this. Let's do some text alignment. I want my heading to be centered. So let's do center alignment. So text align center semicolon. Very good. I like that a lot. Okay. Favorite kid movies. Everything's there. Everything looks great. Let's finish. All right, review your page. Check to make sure your page has everything that you want. Check to make sure all the content is there, that the HTML tags structure the content correctly, and yes, it does. Check that the CSS properties style the content correctly, and it does. And then make sure your code is organized, readable, and free of bugs, no pink, no pink, no pink. We're excellent. We are winners today. All right, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this lesson as much as I did, and I will see you for the next one.